Hey, what's up? Alex here. This year is a very interesting year for robot vacuum. We see both Roborock and Ecovacs taking a step back and coming out with cheaper models while still retaining some of the premium features that are necessary to have. The title that I put for this video is not a clickbait, I'm serious here. Forget about Ecovacs X1, forget about Roborock S8 Ultra, and even forget about DreameBot L20 Ultra, which is the best robot vacuum last year in my opinion. The robot vacuums that I'm going to talk about today are the only ones that you should only be considering getting. First is the Roborock Q Revo, which addresses all the issues I have with Roborock in the past. Finally, no more using a piece of cloth to do mopping. This uses the spinning mop pads, which is definitely what I prefer. The base station is also not that bulky that takes up a lot of floor space. Instead, they went with the more standard compact looking design for the Q Revo. Most importantly, it comes with the mop drying feature by default and not some extra module that you need to purchase separately. Second one is the Ecovacs T20. Appearance wise, it doesn't look that much different from the X series model as compared to the case for Roborock. Ecovacs positioned the X series meant for busy households, ideal for those who value advanced features and customization. On the other hand, the T series is more of their value series with a couple of new interesting features. Biggest improvement from the X1 is the spinning mop pads can now be lifted, so you can vacuum and mop in one single cleaning cycle for those houses that have carpets. The biggest game changer of all is going to be the DreameBot L20. The DreameBot L10s that I covered last year is what I would recommend anyone if they are looking for the best, most feature-rich robot vacuum. This year, the L20 didn't disappoint me. They came up with new innovative features that really make a difference. If automatically providing water supply and automatically draining away the dirty water, basically operating just like a washing machine, if this is not the biggest game changer and lifesaver for robot vacuums, I don't know what else is. I know such feature has been around in China for quite some time already, but the DreameBot L20 is the first to be available and supported in Singapore. Okay, we will now go in depth to look at the different aspects of these robot vacuums and do some testing to see how each of them fare. Let's start with the base station. The Roborock Q Revo comes with two color options, black or white. The width is significantly smaller, but in terms of depth, it's actually slightly bigger than their S series Ultra dock. The clean water tank has a capacity of 5 liters. They have an LED indicator here whereby it will turn red if there is something wrong, for example when the clean water tank is empty. I find these front LED indicators super useful. In the middle compartment holds the dust bag. This is different from their Ultra dock, but this is actually a more standard and better design. Then below is the mop washing area, which you can easily remove and clean it separately. For the Ecovacs T20 comes with only one color option. In terms of size, it has the exact same dimension as their X series. The clean water tank has the same capacity as the Q Revo. They don't have an error LED indicator, but instead they have a top control button here to easily start or pause your cleaning. This is actually very convenient in my experience. Same thing, you can find the dust bag in the middle compartment. For the mop washing area, you can't remove it to clean. Instead, they provide you with a cleaning brush and allow you to dispense water using the top control button. One big differentiator for this station is that it is able to heat up the clean water, which allows you to mop the floor with hot water. This means that it will be more effective cleaning away those oil stains after cooking. Now come the DreameBot L20, available in two color options, black or white. Here is the dimension. You have three top control buttons, a leave or dock button, a start or pause button, and a drying button. These indicators will change to orange if there's an error. Middle compartment holds the dust bag. Then below for the mop washing area, it's a combination of the Q Revo and T20 whereby you can either remove it or dispense water and clean with the provided cleaning brush. Personally, I like to remove the whole thing to wash, much faster and cleaner this way. You can install a water hookup kit with this cleaning station. You will then need to change away the water tanks, which won't be removable anymore. Capacity of the tanks doesn't matter now. For my case, I have it placed beside my washing machine, so it will tap onto the same water source, similarly drain away the dirty water through the same place. With this setup, you don't need to manually refill and pour away the dirty water anymore, which can happen at least once every 2 days. Now, I just need to clean the dirty water filter once per month. And one last thing is you have the option to install their detergent for auto dispensing. Now, I will run a couple of tests to show you how good is their mop washing and mop drying. To test their mop washing, I will soak each of their mopping pads inside an equal amount of Milo for 15 minutes, then run their mop washing once and compare the before and after. Here's the result. Next, I want to test whether the minimum drying period of 2 hours is sufficient. The result of this is most probably going to be different based on the climate of where you stay. Next, let's have a quick look of the robot vacuum itself. You can see the Ecovacs T20 doesn't have an inlet for water, which means it doesn't have an internal water tank here, while the Q Revo and DreameBot L20 both have one. The T20 has an additional side brush and 2 drop sensors. All 3 of them went with the rubber main brush. I realized this has become the standard for all premium robot vacuums. The least maintenance required because you can easily remove the entangled hair from the rubber brush. All 3 of their mopping pads used have a different texture. Not sure how much this affects the mopping performance. One interesting feature you can spot here for the DreameBot L20 is they have an extendable mop assembly here. This is supposed to extend out the mopping pad when cleaning edges and corners. Only the DreameBot L20 comes with a front-facing camera for better object recognition, and of course you can use it like a moving surveillance camera. There's a pair of flashlights that can be automatically switched on whenever it's at a low light area. For Q Revo and T20, they're just relying on the lasers and sensors to detect obstacles, which I find is good enough if you're able to make your house robot vacuum friendly. Time to run some tests to see how well they perform. As usual, I'm going to put some common items lying on the floor in a typical household. Toys, USB cable, an IKEA floor rug, and socks. Of course, the DreameBot L20 is definitely better because it has a front-facing camera which is able to spot items that are even very low lying on the floor. This is typically very difficult for just pure lasers and sensors to detect. For the Q Revo reactive AI, it just couldn't spot the cables and got stuck with it. For the rest of the items, it didn't seem to avoid touching them as well. The True Detect used by the T20 feels slightly better from what I observed, how the robot will behave whenever an obstacle is detected. In terms of navigation, although all 3 are using LiDAR, but Ecovacs always use DTOF while both Roborock and DreameBot is using LDS. Based on my observation, I would say LDS feels better and smarter than DTOF. One issue I found with the DreameBot L20 is when it's cleaning edges. I will expect the robot to travel smoothly in a straight line against the edge of the wall, but somehow, it will keep doing this in and out motion behavior. It feels like it detects the wall as an obstacle, tries to avoid it by going around it, then sees the wall again and then tries to do the same thing again. Besides observations from the normal day-to-day cleaning, I'm also interested to do some testing to see the results. I'll be using the default suction power and mop settings since I think that's what most of the people will do. First is doing a carpet vacuum test with suction boost, whereby I will place some hair strands and food crumbs. Next, I want to see how good are they at cleaning edges and corners. I will purposely place some hair strands right at the edges and using powder to simulate dust. Next is mopping on towels. I want to see how good are they able to clean the grout lines. For this, I'll put some blue color liquid solution onto the grout lines. Lastly, a very popular question that people like to ask, whether there will be leftover water streaks on those glossy marble tiles. The Roborock Q Revo didn't perform very well for carpet. Even with 2 runs, it is still unable to pick up some short hair. For edge cleaning, very standard kind of gap it misses, nothing too stand out. For mopping, the Q Revo is more towards the dry side. There is a slider setting to adjust the water flow. I suggest to test them out and pick the number you prefer. With that, using the lower setting will be the best for marble flooring. The Ecovacs T20 performed the best for carpet, managed to pick up all hair and food crumbs within 1 cycle. There is a special setting for edge cleaning, slightly better with it, so I recommend to turn that on. However, for mopping, even with the lower setting, it is still quite wet. Chances of leaving water streaks behind is pretty high. The DreameBot L20 overall has the most balanced vacuum and mopping performance. The extendable mop feature is definitely a huge plus point, being able to clean the edges almost perfectly, provided it didn't encounter the issue I mentioned just now. For mopping, it has the most even spread of water and pressure to the floor. However, all 3 robot vacuums are still not really able to clean the grout lines, which is understandable. Noise level is something that might bother you, especially if you're working from home. This will be taken from the same mic volume and no post edit on the audio level. Here's a list of the most commonly asked features I gathered in my comment section, so I think I might as well compile a list for your quick reference. You can pause the video here if you want. If you look under Customize Cleaning setting, for Roborock, I realized you can only set number of clean cycles when you choose rooms or zones, not full. So for example, when I want to do a full cleaning run, I can set to clean the kitchen and living room twice and the rest of the room just once. There are only settings for the suction power and water flow. If I'm wrong about this, then let me know in the comments below. Another one that I find quite useful is able to set carpet cleaning first. This means that for household with high pile carpets, you don't even need to worry that the mop lifting is not high enough because the robot will settle all the carpet first before washing the mop pads. For Dreamy's case, the mopping pads can be docked at the cleaning station, so not an issue at all. Conclusion, for Roborock Q Revo, the pros are there's a status LED on the docking station, which is very useful. The docking station is also very compact, overall much stable and efficient. Cons are the weak obstacle detection, no controls on the docking station, and unable to customize number of cleaning cycles. For Ecovacs T20, the pros are hot water mopping, obstacle detection, and there's an Eco voice assistant for non-smart homes. The cons are unstable app, sometimes you will have mapping issues, no internal water tank on the vacuum, unable to remove the mop washing area, which is a little bit inconvenient. For Dreamy L20, the pros are station is able to hook up a water kit, auto detergent, mop is extendable for better edge and corners mopping. The cons are navigation not traveling straight at times, the limited smart home integrations, and in terms of price, of course, it's going to be more pricey. Once again, the Dreamy L20 is most likely going to take my top spot for the best robot vacuum in 2023. There are still a few more months to go before the end of this year, but I highly doubt there will be something better coming up. If this is within your budget and you are able to hook up the water kit for the station, I will 100% recommend you to try this. It's really set up and forget. The amount of convenience you get from this is really beyond what you can imagine. I will definitely be using the Dreamy L20 for my own house. But if this is not an option, then both the Roborock Q Revo and the Ecovacs T20 are fantastic choices with their own pros and cons. The hot water mopping from the Ecovacs T20 is good for families that cook every day, while the Q Revo is just a very good solid all-rounder. Both of them come with all the necessary cleaning features. I would say good enough for most of the households and at a much cheaper price compared to their flagship models. If you already have a good experience with any of these brands, then just stick back with the same. Likewise, if you have a particular bad experience with any one of them, then take this chance to try out the other. If all things equal, I'll give the slight edge to the Q Revo, overall a safer choice for its stability. That's all from me. Links to all 3 robot vacuums in the video description. Use them to support the channel. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye!